There's absolutely nothing wrong with you at all. But you can think so, you can feel so, you can have repeating thoughts, you can have memories, you can have emotional imprints, wounds from the past, remembering how you fucked up, so to speak, what someone told you, whatever. And the thing is that humans think we have been raised this way. It has been the way of human societies for a long time, that we are raised to believe that we are the human and that is all we are. We see it in different areas of society, what the focus is on, and mainly it's like if we get a cut and then we get a wound. In many cases, it's where society try to find solutions is not the wound, it's not the cut really, it's the solution um, to the cut, which in many ways isn't uh, the most effective way. There are different levels to this, different areas, different perspectives, and so on to this. But one example of this is okay, from human to human, what we have seen is people get hurt and they want to dull the pain. So they start smoking cigarettes, start drinking alcohol, smoking a lot of weed, and it doesn't help the cut. It is the solution to the wound, but the cut will stay there unless you. One word I can use is take care of it consciously. It can happen unconsciously that you let go of trauma, you let go of, let's say, beliefs about yourself that you have maybe always believed, whatever, which isn't like in alignment with your true authentic self. It's just an example. I remember why I began smoking, and I haven't heard other people actually ever, and I don't think I asked a lot, but why they began smoking. But I remember it was because of my father. That was the story I created, and it happened, but that was the perspective and the stories I made back then. So it happened. I'm making it short. I loved and still do love to have friends and have a good time. But back then, I didn't really have any friends in school, and I was bullied, and I didn't really have any friends in my area because it was like a kind of ghetto. Like I didn't really fit in, and I even developed like fears around, worries around going outside my own door. My own door. So anyway, I had some friends, and I especially began to. I was like 12, 10, 12 years, and nay, wait, how old was I? 14? Like, okay, maybe I was 14 here, and yeah, okay, and I connected more with like the younger boys in my area because they hadn't been like affected by the ghetto people that are a little older, okay? So they were still sweet, still kind, So that's how I saw it, and we connected. And one day I had one of my friends over, and then my father, out of the blue, he just came in the room and he was like, "Get out!" He was like a big ex-military man, okay? So, and we were like small, So, but he was like, "Get out!" Something like that, and it was just like dramatic. Okay, he threw my friend out, and he got really scared. My friend, and I said I'm sorry, stuff like that, and then after I was like in like a conflict with my father, and anyway, from there I like began having these thoughts like I'm not allowed to have friends. I can't have any friends. I'm not allowed to have friends, and I felt really sad. And me and my mom moved from my father because I didn't want to be in that anymore. Okay, so we moved uh, to a small apartment she had. Okay, then like a week after, something like that, or 2 weeks after, I went back to school after, and this was like a new school. It was like the first time I actually felt like there were like good people. For me, but yeah, I can't remember. I connected with some of them, but not so much. I used to be shy, really shy. But on the way to school, the thoughts began creeping in my mind. The thoughts came like maybe I should, because I had already like it was like maybe a little traumatizing, and I started rooting this belief of I can't have any friends, like how am I supposed to have friends, and so on. So I think it was like this, that the thoughts began coming on the way to school, saying, "Hey, maybe I should start smoking." And I've always been like, "Nope, never, never smoking, never anything, no drugs, no nothing, nothing ever." But on the way to school, and the thought came for the first time, it was like, maybe I should start smoking, and I was like, nope. And I was going further to school, and like the idea began like sounding good. Like if I begin smoking cigarettes, then I can begin like talking to the other people who were smoking cigarettes, and maybe I could get some friends from there, because I already knew that they were like sweet people, like the vibes friendly, but I really never had anything to talk about. I felt or thought back then. So I think within 10 minutes of the first thought of starting to smoke, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. So I did it. I went to school. I knew where they stood, and I started asked for a cigarette, and it worked. I got a lot of new friends. So I think it is like that for many people. Why would people start smoking cigarettes if it wasn't because of something, a sad story, something happened traumatizing, you know? Because in reality, like we know, cigarettes isn't like the best for us. Nothing needs to happen, of course, but like alcohol, nobody really wants to be drunk every day, but some people end that way because they feel like they can't handle everyday life anymore. Things became too heavy, thoughts, emotions, their behaviors, their reality became too heavy, and they begin to feel like if yeah, I need to keep drinking, so it's la 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 la, it's less heavy. Something they say in I don't know if it I think they say it in like Buddhism, Buddhism, that a Buddha, Buddha, a Buddha is someone who is above his intelligence, his intellectual intelligence. He's above the mind. Okay, he's above the mind. And then there is a Buddha, a Buddhi. A Buddhi is someone who is below the intelligence, and we become a Buddhi when we get drunk. We begin to live beneath the intellect, be in a state, mental state, I don't know, beneath the normal workings of the brain. Less intelligent, so to speak. Like, I guess it is like it shuts down part of the brain, maybe goes to sleep, kills brain cells, whatever. Whereas a Buddha is someone who has transcended the mind, who uses the mind but is never used by the mind. Enlightenment, realize that he is not the brain, he's not the thoughts, but he's the observer of thoughts, and they come and go, and so on. Yeah. I forgot what I was talking about when I made this video. Like the subject. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a minute. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? And we see a lot of people who think there's a lot wrong with them, because of their past, because of what they have been told, because of what they believe, what has been projected upon them, so on. But the thing is that we are not the beliefs, we are not the thoughts, we are presence. Eckhart Tolle, Buddha, Jesus, all of them saying the same thing. We are presence. Like, if I'm going to ask you a question, okay, and then see what I mean here. What is your problem? I'm guessing at first you would say, think, feel, whatever, like there is no problem. You have to think about it. You have to remember it. You have to put your attention back to it. And that is because your presence is untouched. It's perfectly untouched. Okay? You can never be hurt. You can never be harmed. I just said that in another word. You cannot be brainwashed. You cannot be traumatized. I think you get the point. Because, yes, we have a body. Matthäus is here. This is my avatar, Matthäus. He has a brain. He has thoughts. I have thoughts coming through my mind. I have emotions coming through my mind. But they don't define who I am. Unless I say so. Unless I agree to it. And it can be a feeling that comes every day, all the time. It can be thoughts that comes all the time, on and on, on and on, on and on. But that doesn't make it more true. But it does make it, it's like in the face all the time, so to speak. But it still doesn't make it more true. it's just become a habit. It like a really not fun habit. And I've been there. Trust me, my mind has until I guess recently, like 2-3 years ago, I guess my mind was really, really like overthinking thoughts, thinking about that, thinking about this. I'm this, I'm that, I can't, I won't, I'm not allowed, I'm blah 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 blah. I cannot, me, never me, why me, blah blah blah. You know, since I was like small, I guess. And all this time, I have been present like you are, but I have been present like you are, and been listening to this, been feeling this, and buying into this. That yes, it's just who I am. Yes, you are right. Whoever it is on the outside telling me that I am this way, and that's just how it is, and that's just me. Yes, you are right. You know, that's just me. And I'm sitting here with a feeling and thoughts. Yeah, this is me. but but in reality, we can just stop up, observe, look at the person. Is just an example. Look at the person telling you all this kind of stuff. Okay, observing that. And then you observe the thoughts and emotions. And then you see like, hey, I am only this because you say so, or the thoughts say so, or the feelings say so. Okay? And I have agreed to this. I have believed it, like I have bought into the beliefs, like, you know? I remember when I was a kid, and a strong and intense feeling came out of nowhere, like whoosh, and it's just like overwhelming, and no one had taught me what to do, like, and the thoughts of worry and panic and fear maybe and doubt just floods over one, and especially when you're a kid and you like, you know, it's like there's this innocence of we don't know shit. When we are born into this world, we don't know shit. We only know what we are taught. But we also have intuitive feelings. We have intuitive knowings. But paradoxically enough, those intuitive feelings and thoughts, intuitive thoughts, yeah, they can happen. But like, they are subtle. They're not screaming in your face. I think it can happen. And I have an example of that from my grandmother. It just came up right now. She told my family, I've been told, I don't think she told me directly. Yo, maybe she did. Anyway, it's years ago. She was living in Greenland. And she and her family, or just her and her sister, I guess, would come to Denmark and visit before I was born. And they would have to take this cruise, this boat, big boat, you know. And when she was like in front of the boat, she had this strong feeling in her saying, no, don't do it. And I don't think she was like generally aware of this, like intuition and stuff like that. I don't really know her like that much in those areas. She was a really sweet lady. So yeah, she had this strong feeling, don't go in the boat, and she listened to it. And then not long after, they heard, the family, that the boat actually sunk, it went down. So that was like a strong intuitive feeling screaming within her saying, don't do it. And yeah, but apparently, generally, they can be really subtle. Okay, so not so fun, but it is amazing. I am really intuitive myself, even though that I can be like, what? But it's really nice when we get an intuitive feeling, and because the clarity of the feeling is just crystal clear. Like, even though we don't know what it's about, whatever, it's just crystal clear and it feels so nice. It's just like, okay, yeah. And so, yeah, it always feels good to follow the intuition, I guess. But I like it, I guess. Like, listen, it's the middle of the night. I don't know. I always make my videos like when I'm super tired. I don't know why, but I felt inspired. So yeah, like, really, to be really grounded about this, there's absolutely nothing, and maybe I should have started like this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with any of us. Nothing. Okay? We are all perfect imperfection, perfection. Perfect perfected perfection. That's Mila. Oh, baby. Yeah. I guess I should give some guidelines, but it's like, okay, have you heard the stories about enlightenment? I would say that 80-90% of the stories I have heard about them has been glorified. I still see people writing comments on Facebook or whatever, saying that it's only special people who will be enlightened. You have to be special. You have to be special. Yeah, no, you don't. Every single one of us is enlightened, but it is not seen clearly. Apparently, something about along those lines, because like I am enlightened, but like you don't see my head shining. Now you do. Like, it has been glorified, and it has been like misinterpreted, misleading, misspoken. Like, there has been these things on purpose and not on purpose, I guess. Like, I even heard someone say that they were told by a guru that I can sense that you don't have you won't be enlightened the next 24 lifetimes. So there's no need to think about it right now. Like, and it's so motherfucking not true, because it's right here and right now. You are present right here and right now. You just have to be clear about that. Clear about being present. Clear about what that indicates. Enlightenment. You are enlightened about what you are, who you are, what you are not, and who you are not, so to speak. And that's it. Nothing special. Nothing special at all. And you never change. Like, your presence, the one who's watching, you never change. You just are. But of course, the experience can change. The surroundings, the people, what you learn, how you like, what you do, like, can change. How you speak, learning new languages, all of that. But you have always been there, the unchangeable, the untouchable. I don't know, a quote from Marvel came in. The undying. Like, yeah, you and me, we were never born and we will never die. And that's a whole nother thing to talk about, death. But we had the experience, so to speak, of being born. Like, we were witness to it. Okay? We had the experience of being born. It's not like, and it can't be like, but to say it in a way, like, it's not like when the body is dead that you are dead. It's not in the same way, I guess. Like, I can't really talk from experience right now. But it's like, it's a whole other topic now. And my dog wants my attention. Your presence, my presence, our presence don't fear anything, and it's not even like, it can sound like wild thing to say, but our presence, your presence don't fear anything. There's no fear of death. There's no fear of anything. But, and I had to learn this along the way, fear can still arise. I thought, I was like, so I'm not enlightened if I feel fear. Yes, I can still be enlightened and feel fear, of course. You know, I googled like Maharaji, if you have heard about him, very famous enlightened guru from India. Like, he still experienced like fear shock. If someone, it was just the example, when someone was like sneaking behind him and saying hello, he could still get this shock, fear shock. But the thing is that it is observed, it is not seen, believed to be me. I'm afraid. And then staying there, it is felt, it is seen, it is experienced, so to speak. But there is this clear seeing that, hey, it's just a feeling, a sensation, like every other sensation. It just doesn't feel well. It, like, I have an example of this. When I was young and I fell in love for the first time, and she was in my class. We went to the same class, and I was going to school one morning, actually down here, and I remember it clearly, and I had this butterfly in my stomach, and I never felt it before, and it felt really good when I thought about her, and I was like, is this the feeling of being in love? I think it is. Is it? Yeah, I think it is. It feels good. Like, it like, it's not like a feeling come with a label on it. We label it, and we especially label good and not good, or fun or not fun. You know, like the scale, like, it's not fun to feel fear, it is fun to feel joy. It is not fun to feel guilt or shame, but it's fun to feel happiness and love and peace. But in reality, like, they are not labeled, they are just energies. And it's back to the innocence of children and the innocence of the present moment of not knowing, really. Yet we learn, we observe, we gain knowledge and wisdom. But like they say, a wise man knows that he doesn't know anything at all. And what that means is, yes, I have learned all of this. I have been here for 90 years, and I have learned all of this, and I know so much. Yes. And this is just how it is. No, yeah, no. A wise man knows that doesn't know anything at all because he knows that he can learn something totally new in any moment. Let's say that you are a professor in something, and it's like a really high education, and then a spiritual person and come and talk about it from a different perspective. If you just close down totally to that information, like we should have discernment, but like denying everything else is not so wise in the end. It's also about being open, present, and fresh in the moment to other people, information, but it's also about discernment, of course. It's also about feeling into it. Like we can have an intuitive feeling that says, "Nah, I don't want to talk with that crazy person." No, I'm kidding, but yeah. A wise man knows he knows nothing at all because he can learn something new, totally new today that would like paradoxically maybe even twist the whole information or erase the whole information that you have learned about one subject before, that you were so certain about, you have maybe even thought about it, and then you have this whole new realization perspective, and then it's just like, hey, this is much better, or this is much clearer, or this feels like a higher way of saying it, or whatever. So a wise man knows he knows nothing at all because he can, like, he's still open to learning. And yeah, that is the child thing also. We call it like this child innocence, but in reality, yeah, there is like this child innocence. New in this world, our parents are our guides. They are supposed to be our guides, and they are guiding their children in one way or another way. But it's a whole other topic. But like, parents are not like supposed to be a boss, not in a bossy way. They're supposed to be guides, caretakers, guiding their kids to in this new world, but also like allowing the kids to be themselves, their authentic self, but guiding them. Like, I know, my little baby, I know you can do this, but maybe you should just wait a little. Or, okay, if you feel confident doing it, okay, I will say, okay, then you can do it, but take it easy. Or let me be here with you, and not be a block, but say stop sign. Or because kids can do much more than the average person think. Like, some people can even think that a baby is directly dumb, like an idiot, so to speak. Like, they don't know anything, which then means that they're like dumb, and that's not the case at all. It's not like okay, this is like a kind of example, but not the full example. Your kid could be like 1 year old and more intelligent than you. You don't know if that is Einstein reincarnated. He just haven't learned to, like, he just haven't heard about mathematics again. About, and I will end it on this because I can keep going, about Einstein. Did you know that his parents and maybe school teachers thought that he was an idiot when he was a kid? You know why? Because, as we still have today, I guess, but at least when I was in school, we had this thing about who can raise their hand first, a competition. Like, really, it's really toxic in some ways. Who can raise their hand first? Who can answer first? And he was so slow to give answers. So they thought he was a retard. Like, really? They thought he was a retard. They thought he was an idiot. But the thing was that he actually just had to think about it. Really think about it. And yeah, we all know Einstein isn't an idiot or a retard today. But it's also about, like, Schooling, most of it, if not all of it, it's actually just about memory. You learn that 2 plus 2 equals 4. That's just memory. You learn that 500 times 3 is 1500. So your brain really quickly says 500, 500. Oh, I remember it's 1500. You remember words, how to spell them through memories, how to, okay? Geographics, where are the countries? It's memory. Okay, I will end the. I'm getting tired. Yeah, stay you, stay yourself, believe in yourself, and don't listen. Don't love you. Just love yourself, okay? Love yourself. Take care. Bye. I'm really tired now. Bye.